They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poorest part. Bright light, city light, I gotta make it, this is where it goes down. I just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
Let's try this one more time. What's good, family? Welcome back to another episode of Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. I'm Jeff J. That is Chrissy Bree, and we are here to recap the season 4 finale of Raising Kanan.
Oui.
Season 4, episode 10, Give Me the Weight. It's the final one for Raising Kanan this season, and we're tapped in with you. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the replay gang. Power After Hours available everywhere where you get podcasts, and shout out to the audio gang as well. Been a ride this season, and we've come to the end of another season of Raising Kanan. Chrissy, tell me how you feeling.
I'm feeling good, man. I'm a little sad that this is the last episode of the season, though. I feel like we were just getting really deep into it, and I want more. So that's the only thing. But overall, really happy to be here on a Tuesday night with you. How are you feeling?
Yeah. I feel good. Glad we're able to tap back in with the Power After Hours community. Ready to talk about the episode because I'm eager to see what everybody thought about it and just really converse and shout out. Love the fact that our crew is able to join us as always live, and I'm definitely looking to hear what y'all got to talk about and what y'all are thinking because, boy, there was a lot that went down. So before we get started, Chrissy, where do you want to start off?
There's so much to talk about. You know, we could start with young Lou. We could start with Marvin. Let's start with Marvin. Okay, let's just start there. How did you feel about Marvin's character in the episode? Because I feel like a lot happened for him. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but we heard a lot about things that he had done and was doing that it will affect his character in the future. So how did you feel about Marvin?
I mean, yeah, this was a classic Marvin cleanup episode where I feel like if we've watched his arc over the past couple of seasons, it seemed like Marvin figured it out.
Yeah.
He figured it out and he finally got his life on track. Mm-hmm. He wasn't really as much of a hothead. He has a great relationship with his daughter. He's assumed a top role in Rock's organization, and it was just plug and play from there. Yeah. But with him, this whole season has been one mess after another, caused by his quick trigger finger.
Yeah.
And it comes to a head in this episode because, of course, they got the static with Stefano. He didn't handle the whole early situation the way that he knew he should have if they didn't want the information to get out. So that leads to the whole blow up conversation. Because if it's one thing Rock gonna do towards the end of a season is have a falling out with one of her brothers. Jesus. And I feel like this explosion was a season in the making where Rock was looking past a lot of the stuff that Marvin was doing, because while he may not have been efficient, he was effective. And as long as it wasn't affecting her business, she didn't really care. But it eventually did, because Stefano tried to drive a wedge between them, pit them against each other. And for the first time, I think since we've been watching this series, Rock questioned Marvin's loyalty.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, rightfully so. You know what I mean? With the stuff that he's been doing, while it, you know, we know as viewers that Marvin's loyalty shouldn't be questioned. But if you're on the outside looking in like Rock has been, it makes sense for her to question that loyalty. She's, you know, with Stefano telling her that, you know, Marvin wanted to unseat her and be the one to run everything. She doesn't know. I mean, at the end of the day, he lied to her about the fact that he was running some side gigs for Stefano. So she's going off of what she's been able to see with her own two eyes. And so I can't blame her for really looking at him as the op at this point, because he's not been operating as somebody who truly has her best interest in her eyes. To us, Marvin is a loyal brother. He's a loyal business partner. Everything he does, you know, he tries to think about the end game. But Marvin, like we know, is a hothead, like you said. And sometimes he pulls the trigger first, asks questions later. And that's not the best situation to be in. We saw that last week with what he did, you know, with girl and her foster parents, killing them, you know, but that was kind of forced. But the whole early situation was a problem from the beginning, because he doesn't know what we know, which was Early was also working with Unique. You know, he was playing both sides. He had to take out Early's cousin, right? It was his cousin or brother his cousin. So like, it's like he's cleaning up messes that he made. Like, it's like he can't even get ahead of himself, because every time he tries to get ahead, something else messes up by a position that he put somebody in to begin with. Like, Marvin, get it together. That's what I need him to do. Just get it together.
Day late, dollar short, Marvin. That's what she called her. Day late, dollar short. Because for as much as he tries to do something, it ends up in chaos. Right? If he would have took out Early and the cousin, one fell swoop, doesn't get back to Stefano, and doesn't really throw their stuff off. He's been lacking. If he doesn't shoot Dave's brother, maybe they're able to keep that operation going. And although Unique was going after the business and the operation, he probably targets the brother and not Dave, and they don't lose that whole operation.
True.
So if you think about the dominoes that fell from the falling out with Stefano, because remember, Stefano at that point was like, yo, I'm not doing business with you anymore. Tell Rock it's over. Y'all are too much trouble for what it's worth. So they lost the Mafia connect that they had. They lost the trucks. They lost all of that this season because of Marvin's actions. Then he's been disrupting business. Now she also has to deal with Unique and this impending war. So for what it's worth, I know Rock has her issues, but Marvin earned that. Marvin earned that. Throughout this season, he ain't been tight business-wise. He ain't been tight. I do think as a brother and as a father, he's been stellar.
I agree.
But I think as a drug dealer or an illicit businessman, he's fell off. He just hasn't been right. He
that balance,
shooting people. He's doing all of that. But if you look at it from the other side, like think about the fact that, first off, if someone would have told Rock that Marvin was trying to connive behind her back, she would never believe it.
Yeah.
But the series of events looks fishy. And that is a theme for this season of Raising Kanan. While you may not believe a character is capable of something, the evidence that's before you in the certain series of events contradicts what you know about them in their heart. So it makes it a rational conclusion for you to at least ask what the hell is going on. You don't look crazy if you think, hey, doesn't this look a little suspicious that you kept work on the side with Stefano a secret? Then Stefano comes and tells me that you wanted me out. But you didn't tell me about this business. Now you saying he's lying. How do I know who's lying? Y'all lied. Yeah, he wanted to keep it on the side. He didn't want to complicate things. What did you think it was going to do to our relationship if I just so happen to find out, which I do? Yeah, Marvin may not be built like that. He might be one of the loyalist people Rock has next to her. But the evidence presented before, the order of operations to where we got to this point makes it look a little sus.
Marvin got to get his stuff together, child. And you said something that made me laugh, because you were like, every season Rock has to get in an argument with a sibling.
Brother,
and it reminds me low-key of book 2 and how Monet always got in an argument with one of her kids at the end of every season. There was
that damn dinner table.
it's like they just can't get right. These matriarchs got issues from start to finish, child. Like last season it was Lulu, this season it's Marvin. At the end of the day, Rock, I feel like, is getting to the mentality of, I just got to do everything myself. And when you start thinking like that and you want to operate like that, it never ends well. It never is going to work for her. And so I knew from jump after she had that conversation with Marvin, this just isn't going to end well for her. It can't.
I agree. And they had their falling out. He walked out. And like I said before, where he's failed as a businessman, he succeeded as a father figure.
Yeah.
And a brother to an extent, because he curved Stefano quickly. Like, yo, that's my sister. I ain't doing that. You wild. He damn near wanted to beat Kanan with a belt every time he said something crazy to Rock. So he's held it down. He found Amber, the little girl, Gerald's daughter, a new foster home, got her out of the squalor and into somewhere good. And that was like heartbreaking. But he was able to close that arc. And now
he had tears in his eyes.
Life.
Didn't he? You saw tears in his eyes. Yeah, he looked like he was yeah, man, that was tough to watch. That poor girl has been through some stuff, man.
Sure, but he got her out of there. And I think another key aspect is his relationship with Juke, how that's evolved. Yeah. Like, think about where we were from season 1, where they were literal at each other's throats.
Yeah.
To now where Juke pretty much tells Aisha, I didn't leave. I can't leave.
Yeah.
Because of my father. My father is here. I got to hold him down. Nobody else is going to take care of him.
So
and
true.
He stands up for me. He lets me be me. Even when he comes over to the house to talk to her. And he's like, oh, you had company? And he's like, yeah. He's like, Aisha, oh, the girl from Butter. He's open. The fact that he's open to have those conversations from the mentality that he had in season 1, for the times that they were living in the 90s, that was a complete shift.
That's
and
true.
it makes you think where it wasn't, for those of you that wasn't around or wasn't like teenagers or better in the 90s or didn't have that consciousness, it wasn't as open as it is now. It wasn't cool. It was them people were persecuted. The LGBTQ community was persecuted. It was like trendy in some places. It really did depend on where you were. And there was a whole language and culture that was accepted or tolerated against them. Like certain things you can't say loud, like certain mentalities, even if you look at pop culture and throughout the course of that era, right? It's just, it was just different. It was just different. And that type of, if you gave me $1 million and said that type of conversation would happen between, especially like a black father, black masculine father and his daughter, where they would get to that point, the optimist in me would be like, I hope that was the case, but I'm gonna bet you that $1 million because it
wasn't happening.
It wasn't. They wasn't giving it up like that. So for him to make that transformation and be so stable in those personal relationships, but letting his recklessness, he loses control. And it's messing up the business. It's a fascinating watch.
It really is. And talk about, just the transformation he's made. Like you said, it's just crazy. Like the growth, I will say it is growth. And you are 100% correct when you talk about the times. I mean, this is why Juke was essentially at a club that was like underground, so to speak. Nobody really, it wasn't advertised, as such. Nobody really talked about it. There were so many more people that were in the closet, so to speak, out of fear of retribution, not even from their friends, but from their family. And so when Marvin hemmed her up, as much as that was hard to see in season 1, I think we even had this conversation where we said that, like, this is normal. This was something that happened in these households, not normal in a way where it should happen, but that's what would happen is what I mean. And to see him now be able to smile at the fact that she had company and be like, yo, that's fine. You live here too. Like, that's nuts to me. Like, just hearing him say that. And it's not even just him being okay saying that. It's Juke being comfortable enough to be able to be honest with her father about where she's at. That spoke volumes to me because we've seen Juke over these seasons be so reserved and so to herself and not wanting to share information specifically with her dad after how he reacted, when he found out. But now that she can be comfortable in saying that she had a guest at their home, not just a regular guest, but this is the name of the person, them. Like, I thought that was just a beautiful father-daughter scene to watch. And it really does show the growth of Marvin's character as a whole. And I love that the writers have done that for him, because we are able to see that transformation over the seasons. And I can just appreciate that overall.
Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. We are talking Gimme the Weight, season 4, finale of Raising Kanan, episode 10. Let's talk. Let's talk about Juke and her transformation. And I think that's another key, that these characters have gone through their own individual transformative arcs to be different people than they were at the beginning of season 4.
Correct.
I think you're slowly starting to see Juke become the jukebox that we know from OG Power. And you could see it with her whole narrative arc with Rock. Ooh. And going from believing, hey, things may not be what they seem, to, you know what? You've been wilding. You've been wilding this whole time. And I like how Juke called Rock out when they had the meeting and wanted to know, yo, just keep it real with me, Rock. Did you have anything to do with Crystal's murder? Did you? She has this connect with Garcia. She finds out that a black woman was spotted walking out.
Could be anybody.
And of course, she's the one who's telling Kanan, hey, man, you know how many black women are in the tri-state area? It literally could be anyone. This is a lot of confirmation bias going. But when she wants to find out for herself, and Rock is rocking, being defiant, telling her to mind her business, trying to treat her like a child, she had to run it up on her and tell her, like, yo, I was always the quiet one. I'm hanging in the back. I watch y'all do something, but just because I'm quiet, it doesn't mean that I don't see you. You never saw me, but I saw you, and I seen the way that you acted. And the fact that you're not giving me this straight answer, you looking kind of crazy right now. Right. And they even had that conversation. She had that conversation with Marvin where they pretty much just chalked it up. Hey, man, that's Rock being Rock. But Marvin was the first one to say
she would never.
Not to that dude, not to that girl, not Rock, not for that. If there wasn't a business reason, it wasn't going down. What did you think about Juke's transformation in that scene with Rock?
I realized that, like, I feel like she's trying to assert herself with every character on this show and show who she really is, right? So with Rock, she's always had almost like a motherly relationship where she felt comfortable in having the conversations that at the time she couldn't have with her own father. So, in that moment, Rock is still kind of like talking to her as if she's a child. And she's like, I'm not a child. Like, if you're going to talk to me. like I'm somebody, which I am, let's be clear. Like, and I feel like Rock she has this way of talking to not only just Juke, but also Kanan, where it's like she just has to assert her superiority. And it's like, girl, we get it. Like, you don't need to do that all the time. Like, relax, answer these questions, because as much as we know Rock didn't do it, and it clearly makes sense to us that why would she? They don't see it that way. Now you've got Juke that's starting to think, oh, maybe she could have. Maybe, like a million black women. But not only that, it's like, y'all, like, what? He didn't give you anything else other than the fact that it was a black woman. He ain't say she had long hair, she had short hair.
No description. No other description.
No description. Y'all just going off of a black woman. It could have been anybody. Shit, it could have been me. Okay? Like, this is crazy to me. You didn't know she was a light-skinned black woman, a dark-skinned, but it's Rock though. Like, so this whole situation is just crazy. And I understand, I think Rock is just getting tired of people asking her this damn question. Because it's like, why do y'all think that I would do this? Yeah, I did it to D Wiz, but that was me fixing a problem that Kanan started. I was solely just fixing it. I know I've done some messed up stuff, but that's really not one of them. But I think Rock's problem is she's done so much wrong by so many people over these years that when she is telling the truth, even for Juke, it's really hard for her to believe her now. Because if you can't look at me, and I'm Juke, as a grown woman at this point, that's how she wants to be, I'm not going to take what you're saying seriously. So I just feel like Juke wants to be seen by Rock, by the Juke that she is today, not the Juke she was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I want you to see me today and who I am becoming. Stop looking at me in the past. And I think that's what's really doing Rock in, is that she refuses to look at people for who they are. She's just so fucked up in the head. And Juke just sees her now. She's like, I see you. Like, you black, you a woman, you did it. And I'm like,
100%.
Y'all dumb? I mean, I know it's the 90s, but is you dumb? Because that really could have been anybody. I was like, oh, maybe they'll think it's Pops. But no, nobody thought that.
I mean, let's call it what it is too, right? She's been clocking Rock on how she's treated Kanan this whole time. Crystal did, checked her on it, and even Juke. Like, yo, you need to listen to your son.
Yeah.
She's trying to get Rock to see them differently. Like, sometimes it isn't about, it's my way or the highway because I said so, I'm the parent. Like, you put these kids in a situation where they had to grow up quickly.
That part.
This isn't the normal teenage angst. There's life or death situations. They're in a different type of game right now. They're operating in a world that lacks forgiveness, that lacks empathy, to where one mistake could cost you and the people you love your life. Those are the high stakes that they're playing for. So while they're operating under that environment, she has to switch up. The thing is, she got a lot of pride. And she's been so guarded because she's a woman, because she took over this game. She has to protect herself. See what happened with her and Unique. I totally get that. But you can't claim you love your kid if you're not willing to humble yourself to hear your kid out.
Ooh, that's a word.
So this is one of her tragic flaws when it comes to them, because she's just sunning them. Like, she's telling you, like, yo, you acting like your father. And
yeah,
he says, I'd rather be Marvin than you.
Ooh.
So
what does that say? When she said that, I was like, oh.
Yeah. So I do think you see Juke getting colder, embracing her family and the lineage and who she is, and for the first time speaking up, because she knows what she's talking about, because she's not talking out of her ass. No. She's talking based on experience and observation. So I gotta respect that.
I just wanted one person to just make sense of all of this. Like, I know we look at it differently because we see it. I'm like, somebody just say something. Somebody connect the dots here. Somebody let Rock know that it was Snaps and Pops who put it in Kanan's head that it was his mom's. Like, I just need somebody to do something, because what Rock is doing isn't working. Her way of communicating with everybody. Honestly, at this point, the only person she's communicating with properly is Lou. And I'm like, wow, how did we get here? Because it's been a while since those two have had proper communication, and Lou was actually sticking up for his sister. But this episode, they were the only two in that family that actually communicated right, like with her in turn. Like, she wasn't making it make sense with anybody this episode except for Lou. And I did not think we were going to see that.
I feel you 1,000%. And I love what you said. We're talking about the family members who have ended up Team Rock versus Team themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's just it's indicative once again of these individual journeys. Like we said, this is the theme. Who you are, your character, going against a series of events where we only have certain context.
Yeah.
So if I think, for example, hey, Chrissy wouldn't take cookies out of this cookie jar without asking. But anytime I walk to the kitchen, the jar is open. There's crumbs that lead to the area where you're standing. I'm going to think, yo, you stealing some fucking cookies. Like, you ain't trying to ask. All the while, we don't know that the kids got into it.
Facts.
And you might just be going to clean it up.
Yeah.
But if I already have it in my mind that, yo, I think you be stealing cookies, and I see certain circumstantial evidence that does point in your direction, but is inaccurate.
Facts.
It's in your general direction, but that doesn't mean you should be the target.
Yeah.
This is what we're seeing. And Juke has been seeing the same thing. And she was the one who was shooting Rock so much bail. Like, yo, now Rock isn't going to do that. But after that conversation, because Rock wanted to be smug and wanted to talk down to Juke as if I don't got to answer your questions, you're being paranoid. It's almost like Rock was like, yo, believe me or not, I don't care.
It's like, girl, you need to. You need to care.
No, care. How about you care?
Jesus,
I need for you to care. 1,000%.
But I do love that Marvin stood for, even as much as Marvin was mad at his sister, because that took place, the talk with Juke took place after the talk he had with his sister. And as much as he was mad at her, even he knew she would never do that. Like, she wouldn't do that. Like, and he's like, I'm with her every day. That's not something that she did. I know she didn't do it. Like, he stood 10 toes down and said, I know she didn't do it. And so it's just like, bruh, why is Marvin the one with some sense? Y'all can't see it too? But they are kids. They are kids.
All right, let's get to this super chat. Sage, thank you so much, Sage. Appreciate you. Big time on the super chat. Peace, y'all. This season can be dubbed the season of misdirection. Chrissy, you said Rock feels the need to one-up her family members. That was the core motivation for her popping Howard after Kanan popped Roddy.
True.
Yeah, I could definitely see it being a one-up. I could also see it being a tying of loose ends, so to speak, where she didn't want to leave anything to chance. And as much as Howard is her son's father, he's still a cop, still has his own ulterior motive. So she figured that she would clean up the situation herself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this just popped into my head. Well, actually, I remember it. Go ahead, Chrissy. What do you have to say about that?
No, now you messed me up with the popped up in my head. Now I'm like, oh, I want to know. Like, no,
okay.
But
I'll keep going.
Yeah, go.
For those of you who watch The Last of Us on HBO, Joel and Rock are pretty much the same character. And this just, I swear, I wasn't thinking about this. They are going to be wrong if it means that they're right somewhere down the way.
Yep.
They will lie to their family members. They will make what they consider the hard decisions because they cannot see an alternative where it leaves them vulnerable. They don't care if you're pissed. They will twist the truth and lie just to maintain some sense of peace if they feel like their way is the correct way.
That's true.
And the same way Joe will pull a whole bunch of moves that on the surface he's wilding, but he has a principle in place. I'm protecting my family. I'm protecting these people. And that's how Rock feels. They don't want to be questioned.
It's true.
And you have to kind of corner them in order for them to keep it real, right? But that pig-headedness and that tunnel vision type view of what needs to happen given a high-pressure situation where it's literally life or death every day, those two characters have a lot more in common than they don't.
That's you hit the nail on the head with that one. That's the most accurate statement. And I'm just honestly, the more I watch this show, the more fed up I get with Rock and her antics, because it's like, I get it. maybe I know the point of the show is power, obviously. But for her, it's like it supersedes any and everything. She doesn't see anything else. Like nothing is making sense to her. You literally have put your child in these positions to make the decisions that he's making, but you won't take any accountability for that, right? But you want him to take accountability for the D-Wiz thing. It's like you want it both ways until you can learn to stand on your 2 feet and take accountability for the position that Kanan is in. You cannot expect him to take accountability for anything because everything he knows is from you. You taught him this way. You raised him. Like you literally sent this man's out to kill his dad. He didn't know it at the time, but it's still not even was it just his dad. It was a cop. Like you set your son up to essentially be killed because we all know cop killers, they don't really make it that long. So especially not in that time. So like she's just a terrible parent, but she refuses to accept responsibility for her actions in any way. And that is her downfall every single time.
Right. It's just like Joel in The Last of Us and Rock. They're thinking about the immediate consequences, not the long-term ones.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about mental and physical and emotional anguish. They're not thinking about eventual retribution for their actions. They're not thinking about that. If in the moment it solves a problem, we'll worry about the future problem in the future. Without thinking, like you killed your son's father in front of him, and then before that tried to have him kill his pops without even knowing that was his pop. You don't think that he's going to harbor resentment on that? Thank you for the super chat, Sage. Appreciate you, and we'll get to the rest. We'll get to the rest towards the end. But keep sending them in if you want to get your comments in. We're gonna do our retrospective on the season and all of that, so all of it will be relevant. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. So let's get to Kanan. Let's talk about Kanan because I think a lot of these other topics that I want to talk about are gonna weave into what Kanan wants to do. Excuse me. So he's off the reservation, right? Like he's off the wagon.
Rightfully so.
He's upset. Snaps and Pop have already told him that it is his mom, and you see how they were trying to press him, like, what you gonna do about that Rock situation? He's like, I don't care about Rock. I'm talking about this now. I'm talking about Crystal. And they knew that they had to kind of quell his desire to find out what's going on. But they did that. Juke tells him about what Garcia told her about the description, and he's pretty much set that, Rock is the most evilest person on this planet, but why do none of y'all see this?
I don't think Juke told him. The cop pulled up on him, right?
I believe Juke and him had that conversation where they found out about
the cop pulled up on him. Remember, as he was entering in the building, and
Garcia told him, and then they had the conversation. Right. Thank you. So he knows throughout this whole thing, he knows that, I can't be the only one who sees this. So he talks to Lou about the situation. And I thought this was an excellent scene to show two sides of the fuck Rock coin, right? Two sides, two characters who have been united in their hate of Rock.
Yeah.
Remember, Lulu, I own you, nigga. Remember that. Oof, right? And Lulu literally went through a transformation through rehab. He had to restore his emotional state. He had to develop a resilience and a resolve for what he was going through with his substance abuse.
Yeah.
And we see him throughout this season. He's still chasing his dreams of being a record mogul. He's finding his purpose. And it isn't until B-Rilla gets caught up in that dumb shit that he realizes the streets were my purpose, were my number one purpose overall. And it wasn't because I was scared. It was because I loved it too much. And it feels like that acceptance of who he was gave him a different type of clarity. Mm-hmm. And this is the conversation that he has with Kanan, where he pretty much tells him, yo, we are responsible for our own decisions in this life.
So good.
We can't keep passing on the burden of control on others. You keep talking about D-Wiz. You bring up D-Wiz, D-Wiz, D-Wiz. I killed D-Wiz. I could have told Rock no. If I told Rock no, we would have found another way. Yeah. I knew we could have found another way. And I still chose to kill D-Wiz because I took that responsibility as a man. I said this was my mission. These were the orders, and I decided to carry out those orders. I wish I didn't do it, but I have to assume responsibility. And then, Chrissy, he breaks to Kanan that Rock was the only one out of their family who had the strength to euthanize their grandmother, his grandmother, their moms, who was begging them to release her from pain. Yeah. And I thought that was a fantastic perspective into Rock's mentality and her role in the family of being the person that's going to do the difficult things that no one else either wants to do or can handle.
That part, you know, for as evil as she is, right? That is from the strength that she has at the same time. Like, I love that conversation between Kanan and Lou. I felt like it was long overdue, not just for them to talk, but for Lou to get these things off of his chest, because for the longest we saw him struggle with that decision of what he did to D-Wiz, but we never in my thoughts did I think, oh, he didn't really need to do that. He could have told Rock, let's find another way. And for him to be man enough to say that, even knowing that Kanan is angry, right, and has taken his anger out on his mother for what happened to D-Wiz, I love that Lulu was man enough to stand in his self and who he's become and tell Kanan, I made that decision. Yeah, your mom may have ordered it, but I executed it. I didn't have to, but I did it anyway. And I regret it. Can't take it back. Unfortunately, the kid is gone. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't going to be D-Wiz, and yeah, maybe they would have found another way. The other way might have been Kanan, you. You ever thought about that? Like, it could be you, Dad. Because at the end of the day, that decision that they had to make was off of something that you caused. So it just was an overdue thing for Lou to get off of his chest. And I'm starting to feel like Lou, as angry as he was at Rock, I think it's because he just didn't understand fully her perspective. And I don't know if him getting clear of the alcohol and going through therapy has opened his mind to the weight that Rock carries as the matriarch of them. But I'm seeing a respect for him that he has for her that we didn't see ever before. I mean, he was always questioning her in every move that she would make. And I love that now he is, even with Kanan and everything he's going through, he's letting him know, like, we are men, and the decisions we make, we need to stand on those and stop looking to pass the buck, because that's not going to do nothing to fix the situation. And that's all Kanan does, really. And that's all he does is pass the buck. And I'm starting to really see that everything he's going through now, I understand why he is the person we saw in OG Power. Like, he's a fucking mess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And you can tell he knows how to read people. In the OG Power, that's the one thing about Kanan. He was a master manipulator, and he knew how to gauge a situation, read people, and know how he had to manipulate them in order to get what he wanted. He understood those aspects of control because he went through it before. Yeah. And the thing that I think about Lou, when I'm thinking about Lou, is I think there's a little bit of respect there, but I think it's a respect because of the accountability aspect. He put himself in that bottle because he liked what he was doing too much. And what did it say about him that he could kill a kid in cold blood, frame him for some murder, and not feel remorse, actually feel enlivened by it? You're thrill seeking off of killing teenagers. That messes with his head. He's thinking to himself, what kind of psychopath am I? Do I need to be committed? Am I a supervillain? I gotta be a horrible person. And he took that responsibility on himself. And I think he learned that in rehab.
That's true.
And now he looks at it and says, okay, we're all holding on to shit. Nobody's hand is clean. So I can't get mad at Rock for assuming responsibility in certain situations. Now, does that make her Mother of the Year? No. Does that absolve her of some of the dumb shit she was doing? No. But this is another reminder to Kanan that if you're going to be in this game, 10 toes down, a part of this game, you are going to have to assume responsibility for your actions, and everything isn't as clear-cut black and white as you think it is going to be. But you're trying to tell a 17, 18-year-old kid this with raging hormones and all of that, right? Like I understand that, and I know he's twisted. And once again, the series of events that preceded what his hypothesis was about his mom, without us having the dramatic irony of knowing what really happened, I would, if I was in his position, I'd say, yo, at the very least, you know something. You gotta know something. And at worst, you was the one who did it. So I thought it was a fantastic way to show Lou's growth throughout the series, especially as somebody who really gave up his dreams because he felt like he wasn't being himself. Ooh. He really did feel like that was a pipe dream. It wasn't the dream that was meant for him in that way. Maybe he could do it on the side, but the streets was his home. He was just fed up. And once he accepted it about himself, it was full steam ahead.
You know what's crazy is this whole time we were watching him in the studio and everything, and I thought that was his true self. He was trying so hard to prove that that was his true self that I almost forgot about all the shit that he did in season 1. All the stuff that they were doing, the kills that they were like, I forgot about that because he had immersed himself so much in the industry and wanted so much for all of us to think that that was where he needed to be. Lou really has had a lot of, Lou and Marvin both, their growth is insane. I don't know where Jeff left me, but let's just
You're here. I'm here. Go ahead. Run.
Oh, you just got me rocking on the screen. Yeah, so one thing I will say, okay, damn.
See, you did too much. You did too much. I had you on the solo screen and then you wanted to act up. So
no, it's okay.
Congrats,
I started talking about something, some ops, maybe some cops,
we would have had the Fed line, the bulletin with Chrissy Bree.
Okay. I've let it go for this season. This season was actually good. There was
no feds. Because there was no feds, Chrissy. There was no fucking.
You're not going to convince me of this. So let it go. Okay. Let it go.
It's gone.
But yeah, I will say the growth of both Marvin and Lou has been tremendous. And what breaks me is that we haven't really seen that from Rock. Like, where has her growth been? It's been nothing but really just not wanting to be accountable for anything that she's done. But I guess that's because she's has to make so many decisions all the time. It's really hard to sit in your own shit when you are doing nothing but fixing other people's fuck ups, Marvin, and also always having to be the one to make decisions. So it's like at one hand, Rock pisses me off with that. But on the other hand, she doesn't really have a choice with the position that she's in. It's tough.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason there hasn't been, I guess you could say not so much growth, but she has gone through a transformation where she's become colder. Ooh, and I think part of that is she's pretty much been under siege the whole season with the business. That's the only thing she had moving. Think about everything that's going on, that went on from what we saw in season 4, episode 1 to now. Lost a love of her life. She thought in Unique. had to terminate a pregnancy, then lost her lawyer that was keeping her out of jail and doing all of that.
Yeah.
You going from working with a connect to having an issue with a connect, to losing the connect, to making a business deal with a whole new connect, having to juggle this supposed Cold War between two mob bosses. Your son hates you. Your mom is dying. Your brother keeps killing the help.
And you have no cell phones.
No
all
cell
this
phones, nothing
happens.
like that.
No cell phone to be like
barely beepers. Barely beepers. Like Kanan got the first ever cell phone. He got the Zach Morris phone, right? But you know, those are like few and far between.
Yeah.
But she has been under siege. And like I said, I'm not excusing how she act, but if you think about it, who's really had time to breathe? Has she really had time to breathe this season? No. So listen, she's definitely gone through a lot. She's definitely going through a lot, so I can understand why her transformation has kind of been in a holding pattern where she's literally just trying to find a way. It's almost as if she is the season 1 Marvin of this season with her relationship with Kanan. Even though she makes a little bit more inroads, she don't got time. Think about this. We ain't hear about that damn truant officer and that deal with Kanan being school, or he gotta get arrested. Rock already chucked that into the sun. She ain't even on that no more. So at this point, it's like, what the hell, right? So I totally get where she's going with that. Power After Hours, your favorite power podcast. We are talking about season 4, episode 10. Give Me the Weight. The season 4 finale of Power. Book 3, Raising Kanan. All right.
Ooh, what next,
Chrissy, let's talk about
get my head ready.
The introduction of Breeze into the Power universe. Well, first, shout out to Sasha Penn for blowing it up in an Instagram post, and I saw it, and I kind of tricked myself into believing he's saying that Breeze is inevitably going to show up. But then I thought about it. I heard speculation that he might show up this season. But he did.
I told you. I warned you. Stay off
Unique is not Breeze, guys.
That theory's gone.
That theory's out the window. Whatever other theories you had of who Breeze was, not Breeze is Breeze. Breeze is Spider-Man.
Okay.
Shout out to Shamik Moore.
Okay.
Making his Power Universe debut. What did you think, Chrissy, about the introduction of Mr. Branford into this Power Universe?
Finally, you know what I mean? I'm excited because I feel like that's been like the running thing for a couple of seasons now, where people are like, it's got to be unique. It's got to be unique because we haven't been introduced to him. And now knowing that we're being introduced to him through Snaps and Pop. Is it Snaps and Pops or Snap and Pop? Them two, Snap Crackles. So like them, that being their nephew, I feel like was a perfect segue and introduction into his character. But it's just good to finally have a face, because what this also tells me is that we are very close to meeting the likes of Ghost and Tommy. So I was very excited to know that we are meeting him. I feel like it's about time. I was also mad about that spoiler because it definitely caught me. But I like Breeze's character. I'm excited for what he's going to bring to the table, because all we know of him is what we heard from Ghost, essentially, right? When Reek was pressing him, wanting more information, and what Kanan has told us in OG Power. So it's good to finally be able to have a face so that we can get more into his character and also more into what really popped off with, you know, Ghost and Breeze, because I feel like that's also been like a lingering thing. We only have that side of the story. So I know we finna get some truth, because it could be possible that Ghost wasn't telling 100% of facts. So I'm excited to see, his character develop, which I think that's going to be a character that slides over into young Ghost, young Tommy. I feel like he's here, right? For, I would assume, yes, that
I'm assuming that. Well, that's a question mark. That's something that we gotta wonder, right?
Because we don't know when he died, right? We don't know like timeline.
We don't know timeline when he died. So if you assume that Origins is going to be, well, you can assume that. Well, there's two assumptions, and we won't know until they put out more of the synopsis of the show and give us more details. But it's either either pre-Breeze or after Breeze, right?
Okay.
Like Origins is either during the Breeze era or after the Breeze era, right? So they say it's when they're young and they're coming up. It could start off with Breeze's death, and then they take the business and then go on, or they could build up to it.
Jeopardy.
I think there's a lot that's on the table, but what I will say is I thought it was ill that he's related to Snap and Pop.
Yeah.
Because if Kanan finds out what they were doing, how does that complicate the relationship between whatever they are trying to, they're saying they're trying to turn theory into practice. They're just making this a meet and greet. It's just I just want you, it's one of those, this my man, he doing his thing in this, in his side. You doing your thing over there. Y'all both doing your thing. So I figured y'all should just meet because, y'all on the same wavelength. Y'all going the same places. So why not dope people meet dope people? Like it's ill. It's like one of those, right?
Yeah, it was.
They show respect. Minute he popped out, I kind of knew who that was.
Yeah, the hat was nice. Yeah, it was good.
Shout out to Mars, who said that he was wearing the Cole Brown hat. The Cole, you stupid.
The Cole.
Martin. Oh my God. How you feel?
The Cole hat.
He was definitely wearing the Cole hat. And shout out to Jaleel in the chat, who says that Snaps and Pop fucked up the whole Power universe by killing Fame, killing Crystal, framing Rock, and now Breeze is their nephew. So once again, we've been having this conversation about their importance. And while they've been the puppet masters in the background, they are stepping up to become significant characters in the Power universe, at least for the Power history, because their existence and the machinations that they're doing behind the scenes can be traced to possibly the fall of the Thomas family and the rise of the St. Patrick's at the same time.
That's true.
They're like the epicenter. They're the Kanan event that went down that eventually changes the course of history for what goes on in Power. So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was a cool introduction. I'm wondering what they're going to do with him next season. I think it was cool because, so here's the thing. Breeze with me has always been a little bit of mythology for the Power universe. You always hear about Breeze, what you did to Breeze. He's always been lurking in the background. That whatever happened with Breeze fundamentally changed the relationship between Kanan and Ghost and Tommy. That was the shift. And when you see how events played out throughout the course of Power, you wonder, who was this dude? What happened? How did it get to the point where this could be a timeline altering event? So I think that the Kanan writers and to an extent, the Origin writers have a unique opportunity to fill in that gap to tell us a real enriching story about how we got to the beginning.
I love it. I love it.
I think that's cool.
Is this show ever going to end? I mean, there really is.
How it never dies.
There's endless stories that can be told here. But knowing that we've got the introduction to Breeze, like I literally got excited because I just know there is a lot. There's got to be a lot to that story. Based on one, just how emotional Ghost got when he was talking about it. It's like not emotional in a way where he was crying, but just like it evoked a lot from him when he was talking about it. So I'm interested to see how big of a character he is in Kanan's life, like what is going to shift. And I saw somebody comment, but I'm also excited to see him watching Jeopardy because they have to put that in there. Like you've got to have him watching Jeopardy, but also knowing if he is somebody that watched Jeopardy, he probably is low-key really smart. There's no way you can watch Jeopardy every day and not retain that information in some way. You know what I mean? So like,
it's just a matter of how you're going to use all that useless information. When is it going to be useful, right? But I get that. And here's the other thing. They said that the whole Jeopardy, they killed them watching Jeopardy or whatever. We don't know if that's true.
See, that's another thing I'm saying. Yeah, that's true. Like Ghost, that's the only story we know. So I'm interested to see what the truth is, because now we're actually going to see it play out. They've got to show that, because you don't introduce him for no reason. So I want to see this story play out. And I think the writers have a chance to really do something different, so to speak, with a character that we know of, but we don't really know of. So that's going to be fun.
For sure. All right, let's change gears. So here's something that I wanted to talk about when we talk to Kanan. So we're gonna get to the scene, the big cliffhanger for this season. Kanan has heard everything he needs to hear. Enough is enough. He is tired.
Oh, God.
I don't give a fuck about my mother.
I knew you was going to do
that. You kill Fame. You kill Crystal. You killed them because you want me all to yourself. I should have did this a long time ago.
The way you locking your jaw is crazy.
You don't own me, Rock. It was all there. It was all there. Pulled the gat out on her. And you could tell that Rock was it was almost like a catharsis for her, where she wasn't fighting it. She wasn't trying to plead. She just said, like, I love you. You're my everything. I wouldn't do that to you. Just straight telling them, like, yo, if this is what you feel, this is what you feel. But that is not what happened. And the same way he tried to say, you are capable of this. You are capable of that. You've done all of that. Like, how can you say you love me when you do all the things that you did to me? Like, he completely flips out, right? Well, first off, let's ask the question. Do you think that he shot her? With the cliffhanger, the screen goes black and we hear a shot, and then Kanan / 50 Cent curses us out and fades away.
No, I don't think Rock is dead. I don't even think Rock is the one who got shot. And here is, you want me to say why, or you just wanted to ask that question?
No, yeah, I'm asking you.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna give my point, but yeah, do you think she got shot?
No, and I think there's a lot of things that were also happening. You've got Juke, who followed Kanan there, right? Whether, I don't know if she was in the car with him or if she followed, whatever it was, she chased after him, right? So we've got Juke that could potentially also be in that location. 2, you've got Unique, who is on a mission to take out every single person that had anything to do with anything. Let's just call it what it is, because he's crazy at this point. So he's executing things where he's taking people out, and where I almost feel like if it's not him that's showing up to her house, somebody is showing up to her house to finish the deal. So I don't even think Kanan had the chance to shoot her. I think we are hearing a shot, yes, and it could be Kanan shooting someone else that maybe was about to shoot into them, or we've got Jukebox who is shooting to give Rock an out in some way, where she's just shooting up into the air to kind of distract Kanan from doing what that is. But I want to believe that Kanan didn't shoot his mom. That's what I want to believe. As angry as he was, I also don't want the writers to leave me with that damn cliffhanger. Because now I'm like, God damn, is she dead? Is she not? We've already got Stefano hanging on for dear life. You know what I mean? So I just don't think he did it. I think he intended to. I don't think he got the chance to. That's what I think.
So yeah, I think if she did get shot, I don't think it's by Kanan. Maybe because remember, The war is just starting. So while a war didn't rage throughout this whole episode, the war is just starting between Unique's crew and Rock's crew. He finally got the go-ahead. It could be somebody. It could have been Unique himself that creeped up. Remember, she turned her back to the window. So we don't know who's in the window or what. I think if she did get shot, it's not by Kanan, it's by somebody else. Or Kanan takes out whoever's in the window who is trying to get at them.
Yeah.
Or so one of the family members gets there, sees somebody else trying to creep up on them and puts them down. One of those three options. Here's another reason why I don't think Rock is dead. I don't think you kill your lead off screen and started in season 5 with them dead, much. Right? Because even with, I want to say, Angie got shot at the end of season 5, right? Tommy shot.
We saw her get shot though, right?
We saw her get shot, and then in the beginning of season 6, episode 1, we find out that she's gone.
Yeah, and Ghost was having dreams.
Right. Then she became like a novella dream.
God,
right?
Jesus. Yeah.
So I do not think they would fade to black and then show us. Maybe they show us what happened at the beginning of season 5. Who knows? I just don't think it's going to go out like that. Here's another reason why I don't think that she's gone. Apparently, there was a Deadline article where Sasha Penn and Patina Miller were talking about her time in the character and how she loved playing the character so much and yada, yada, yada. I said, all right, guys, see you in season 5. I'm not falling for the cap. I'm not. This is Unique all over again.
Oh, yeah. It was a ruse.
See you season 5.
Time for this shit. Patina, we'll see you in season 5. Okay.
Right.
We're going to finish this strong. Like, I also am with you in the fact of if they did kill her in that way, fade to black, and then we pop up in the first scene of season 5 as a funeral. Oh, you gonna hear my mouth. Hey, you gonna hear.
They're not gonna do that. I don't think they would. I don't think they would.
I better not see no Rock Fume opening that scene in 5. I will lose it. But I don't feel like they would do that. I really don't.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think they're gonna pull another Who Shot Ghost or whatever the case may be. I'm calling cap. The minute I saw that Deadline article, shout out to Chronicles of Power, that account. I saw it. I said, "Yeah, man, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, see you next season." Here's a cool conversation that I seen online. So I heard people saw chatter about raising Kanan, and one of the themes that I saw was people were upset because they felt like Kanan was being too emotional. He's just been reduced to an emotional kid this season. And
keyword kid.
And one of the things that they say was, yo, he's acting like Tariq. He's insufferable like Tariq. Yeah. And to them, I would say that's the point.
That is the point. Do y'all not remember how in tune he was with Tariq? Like, I'm watching this now, understanding why he was so in tune with Tariq. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. He empathized with Tariq. He literally saw himself in Tariq in a similar situation with a family doing illegal shit and not putting you on, keeping you in the dark about everything going on. Whether you wanted to be in the game or not, they weren't real with you about it. And now you're in a situation where their outside life is interfering with yours. And yes, Tariq was super insufferable. Yeah, he was entitled. Yeah, he had the greatest villain to hero arc in the history, one of the greatest in the history of TV, because people went from not being able to stand Tariq to loving Book 2 and wanting to watch it. Like, he became the lead, and he even said it's actually crazy how this goes down.
We love him.
I think part of the reason why, y'all gotta understand, Kanan became Kanan over time. This dude is a teenager who's lost three of the closest people in his life in a span of a couple of years.
Yep.
And his mother indirectly or directly had something to do with it.
It's true.
He's had this rage because he's hated his mom for life, for all the stuff that's happened. He's seen his father get murdered. He's been put up to kill his father. He's gone through a lot of emotional anguish that he hasn't processed, and that he doesn't really know what he's going through. And you see
his grandmother.
Results.
His grandmother also died.
I mean, yeah, he talked about it, but he didn't go into depth.
Like,
it was just about the relationship with him and Rock. They didn't go into depth, right? They didn't go into depth. This dude is dealing with a lot of trauma, and he hasn't had a true outlet to release all of it. So now I understand him going deranged and wanting to end his mom because he wants to end the pain. Yeah. He's going through too much pain. This is probably a lot more than he could handle. He bit off a lot more than he could chew. He's a fucking teenager. Of course he's going to be emotional. Folks forget when they were 17, 18, 19 and them hormones was kicking your ass. You cannot control yourself. Your fucking parts of your brain ain't even fully developed until 21. And you think he isn't going to lash out like that? It's the point. It's the point that he is more emotional. That is the connection to Tariq. And that's also why he, in essence, knows what to say to Tariq and how to handle it so that Tariq can become the man he eventually became. And if you remember, Tariq respected Kanan for it. Even if he double-crossed Kanan at the end, he respected Kanan for it because he was the only one who kept it real with him.
He was honest.
Regardless, kept it real with him. Remember, whatever they said he did that shit. Guilty as fuck.
Yeah,
right? Like, he kept it real with him. So I just think it's a little ridiculous when folks, if you want to be upset because you're watching an emotional Kanan and you want a Stone Cold Killer, go watch OG Power.
That's all you got to do.
That's what he becomes. You're watching the origin of a character and the journey that he takes to become the person that we known from the original series. So just enjoy the journey.
People like that really do get on my nerves because when we were watching OG Power, everyone was like, oh, I would love to know how Kanan became this way. I want to know how Kanan met Tommy and Ghost and how did y'all, we can't win. They're giving you what we asked for 3, 4, 6, 10 years ago. And now y'all are still angry. Like, I need y'all to make a decision. Like, I am enjoying watching this version of Kanan because it explains so much. Like, it also explains why he gave Tariq so much grace. Because at the end of the day, he essentially has gone through a lot of the same shit. Like, Kanan, believe it or not, I know we forget, but he is a kid. And I think I have said that every single week on this podcast. Like, he's a child and we forgot that. And I think that is also where Rock falls short because in the same, she will say, send him out to kill his father. But in the same breath, you want to treat him like he's a child, but you are sending him to make grown ass decisions. You can't have it both ways as his parent. You either are going to want him to be a child and treat him like the child that he is, or you are going to set him up for failure because that's essentially what she did. The moment she sent that kid out there to murder his cop father, you set him up for failure. You put him on a path of destruction. And now you are seeing the child that you gave birth to. This is what you did. And she refuses to take accountability for that. And I think that's also why Kanan does get frustrated with her a lot of the times, because you want to sit there and treat me like I'm a child, but you're not putting me in child. Now you want to talk about I need to go to school. Girl, where was this at 6-7 years ago? You should have been had that child out of that house when you were over here dealing drugs. He should have never been there. You mad because he want to learn what you're doing? That's what kids do. Kids always want to become like their parent. Like, you can't be mad at him for that. You can't fault him for that. And so I understand Kanan's frustration because he's a kid, and that is, I was insufferable as a teenager. Okay. I don't know how Fran made it. Okay. Jeff.
I wouldn't.
Okay. Let's
I
relax.
just want it.
Okay. All I know is
You?
I don't know how Fran survived. Is what I'm saying. I was insufferable. So I mean, y'all act like y'all was saints, and we was all sinning. Okay. So let's act like Tariq is. I'm sorry, Kanan is the child that he is. Hey, I almost messed up. But let's just give Kanan a little grace. Okay, he's a kid, and let's not forget it. It's
Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. Give me the weight. Season 4, episode 10, season 4 finale of Raising Kanan. Let's get to some loose notes on the episode before.
Oh, we forgot Early died.
Let's get to some loose notes on the episode.
That might be the only death that we actually saw in this episode.
Marvin tried to clean up his mess. Finally got Early and Homeboy that was just there. Wrong place, wrong time. So he did what he was supposed to do, but too late.
Too late.
So that's first. I thought it was pretty ill that we see the meeting between Russo and Stefano, and we find out that the whole hit on Sal was orchestrated between them two to get Russo into Sal's seat because he thought folks wasn't feeling Sal like that, so he was going to take over. Woo. And because Sal's widow and the unique of it all was pressing for retribution, it inadvertently put Russo and Stefano into a war. And how were they fighting that war? They were fighting that war by proxy between Unique's crew and Rock's crew. And I want to say, chat, y'all let me know. I don't think I'm Mandela affecting this. No, I feel like we had the conversation about proxy wars on this show before. And just saying, like, the mobs are fighting their wars through Southside and through all of that. I think we did have that conversation, and it was confirmed. This was all theater to put Russo in Sal's seat. And because they got too far in with their respective camps, they didn't anticipate that the camps themselves would have enough issues that would blow back on the families. So, of course, Russo and Sal, like they Russo and Stefano are having that conversation. And Stefano's telling them, like, yo, you moved into Queens. You try to take my business. Like, I helped you with this, but you overstepped. Lead it to Russo shooting his shot and stabbing up Stefano. And now we don't know whether or not he survived. But that's kind of where Russo is like, yeah, he's in the hospital. Unique, do whatever it is you want to do. Because if he's alive, this is all cooked anyway. Yeah,
it's a mess. It's a mess. And I'm like, damn, they love using us, don't they? They love using black folk, okay? And it's always going to blow back. Because let me tell you something. We're going to tell the truth. We finna tell it like it is. And I'm just so tired of these damn Italians at this point. Because now you mad at us. And y'all was the one orchestrating the whole damn thing. Like, it's a mess. And I almost want Stefano to survive. Because now we need to take Russo out. Now he's got to go. They both got to go if you want me to be 100. I think I wanted Stefano to die at this point. Because now you've got it where you're putting Rock and Marvin against each other. So that's not going to help the situation. So I already thought Stefano was going to die. I just didn't think it was going to be Russo who did it. I did not see that coming. But yeah, I'm tired of these damn Italians using us, man. Leave us a damn alone. Leave us alone and fight your own damn battles, okay?
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, so that happened. I thought it was hilarious that B-Rilla and Lou captured Pernessa and his kid.
B-Rilla.
That was unique. That was Rock's call. If y'all are gonna go after our family, we gonna go after you. Also, with that, right? That whole scene where Rock rolled up with Lou to Unique and where she pretty much was having the conversation like, yo, leave the families out of it. And Unique was like going in on her. Like, yo, at one point I was like, yo, Lou is going to shoot him.
When he
Lou
said she
needs to
called me
shoot him
daddy.
twice. Like he's disrespecting her, talking about how he slept with her in front of Lou, just going off. Like you could tell there's no more love lost between, there's no more love in his heart for her. There's no conversation. That's what led to Unique taking his shot, setting off the war. They burned down all the Chinese spots, the Chinese food restaurant spots. Rock's Chinese Restaurant Connect said he sent all his family back home and he's out.
Smart.
So Rock has been severely weakened at the end of this episode, and it looks like Unique right now is the one on top. Now, on top of that, interesting thing that I noticed from the episode, when Snaps and Pop were talking to Breeze and Kanan about the operations, about who was going to be involved, combining what Breeze got in East New York and in East New York and what Kanan got on the South Side, they brought up Unique. He basically said, yeah, Unique as of now, but we'll worry about that later, like temporarily. So it seems like there's going to be another double cross in the future. They just linking up as a means to an end until they don't need him anymore. So I thought that was interesting as hell.
That was very interesting. And Kanan almost kind of reacted when they said that. You saw him kind of like almost flinch and make a face like, "Ooh, why would you say that?" Like it's all, I feel like knowing that we are going into the final season, they have got a lot of pieces that they've got to kind of wrap up here. Like I'm trying to figure out how we're going to do it. Like I'm almost mad that, like I said, that this was the last episode because I do want more. Like I want to see how this story plays out. And I'm slowly learning the more that I watch these episodes, like we said earlier, Snaps and Pops low key might be running this whole show and that we've never heard of them before. Like this is the first time and we're seeing them put all of these people together and make all these plays and doing all of these things. And we know they exist, but it's almost like the characters forget they exist when it comes to blaming somebody for a death or seeing this taking place on this side of town. It's like y'all forget Snaps and Pops are still in the game, and they're evasive in that way. And I like that about them because it's scary. You really don't know what they're gonna do, but they can do a whole damn lot because they got people everywhere. So as I've watched these episodes play out, I was very intrigued by that. Now we've got Breeze. Now they've introduced Kanan and Breeze. Kanan is going to be a force to be reckoned with. That we do know. With that much we know. So it's all about, for me, watching how these things play out as these episodes go on. And yeah, I'm excited, bro. Like, Snap and Pop scare me though, because we don't know what they're capable of anymore.
For sure. Let's get, before we talk about the end of the season thoughts, let's run off. Actually, you know what? No. Let us talk about that. We'll end with super chats and some other conversation. Overall, what did you think about season 4?
Oh, I loved it, man. I'm excited. I feel like this might be. Is this my favorite season?
And what do you think about this finale too?
The finale was dope. Like I said, the one thing I am concerned about is we've got a lot of pieces now, knowing that this is the final season, season 5. We have a lot of pieces that we need to get to before we get to the, origins of Ghost and Tommy. And that just depends on when they're even being introduced, if at all, in this series. So I think that this episode was great. I feel like they introduced the right pieces. We now know Unique is going to do what he's got to do to get on top. Rock at this point is at her lowest. I don't know how she recovers from this, to be honest. Even if she does survive whatever that bullet was that we heard, I don't know how you recover, because at the end of the day, we haven't really seen Unique finish. Sorry, I got hiccups. We haven't seen Unique finish what he set out to do. We've only seen part of it. Stop, Jeff. It was a hiccup. Leave me alone. You're not finna judge me. Okay.
No judgment. No judgment. Okay.
No judgment. So yeah, I think this episode was great. I would definitely give it like an 8 out of 10. The season as a whole, I want to say so far has been my favorite. And the reason is I feel like we've really seen the evolution of all of the main characters in this season. Marvin, yeah, he's been through the therapy last season and stuff, but seeing him grow as a father in this season, I did think was beautiful. Lulu, we've seen the truth come out of him. Rock, we've seen while she does, evade a lot of being honest with her kid, at the end of the day, what she did with her, in ending her mom's life, I thought that was one of the most beautiful scenes that she's had. And so this season as a whole, I think was my favorite. It's setting us up for Jukebox and the character she becomes. Even her going back and meeting with her butter manager, I thought that was dope. The way she kept calling her Jukebox, like she was saying it so weird to me. She just kept saying it.
How
like,
do you feel, Jukebox?
Why was she sounding out the words? I was like, girl,
sounded like Barbara from Abbott Elementary.
Yes, I was like, stop saying her name like that. Jesus. But the evolution of her character really has been great this season. So I think this season has been my favorite so far. I really love this show. I think they have done such a great job of showing us new characters while also, because we know how it ends for Kanan and Juke, still keeping us in the dark about certain aspects of who they are throughout this show, enough to keep us intrigued to want to keep watching. Because we could be like, fuck it, we know they die, who cares? But at the end of the day, they've done such a good job of writing these characters and building upon them episode by episode, season by season, that I can't turn my eyes. So I really do love this show. It's shaping up to be my favorite in the Power universe for sure.
For sure. I'm gonna say I really enjoyed this season 4 finale. I had to adjust my expectations because here's something we didn't talk about. We thought everybody was dead. Folks thought everybody was dead. And in the end, we got early. We got his mans. We got Stefano as a possible. And we got Rock as a possible, which I'm still saying that's more of a jack of spades than a king of spades. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't think that Rock one is walking. So that is not, I won't even consider it a possible. We got more character development. It didn't feel as conclusive as a finale like it has been in Power, because usually you get like a major death or you get some conflict. You got to think about it. We had one season end with the raid where Lou was inhaling all them fumes and the house was burning down. Yeah. When the Italians did the hit on all of them and Marvin got shot. You know what I'm saying? Like we got the Ronnie and Howard at the end where they both got bodied. So we've had crucial ends to the season, but this one more so felt like a setup for what was going to happen. It was a table setting. So I remember when I went to go watch the first Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. I didn't know that it was a book. I didn't know that this was going to be a series of movies. I had no clue. I went in completely blind. I wasn't reading anything on it or nothing. Wow. So Lord of the Rings is some fantasy joint. It's supposed to be good. I'm into that. Let's go see it. I remember I'm sitting through all 80 hours of that movie.
It was very long.
End of the movie, they just going on a journey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the screen fades to black. And I remember saying audibly, that's it? And then people were looking at me like,
nigga, you don't know?
What do you mean that's it? It's part one. And then when I found out, I said, oh, okay. So now I can enjoy it for what it was, because it was startling to me as someone who went in completely blind, which is probably a foreign concept for anything nowadays.
That's a great analogy, by the way. That's very good. That's a great analogy that you just made. Very good.
So I had to adjust my expectations. And I feel like I had to adjust my expectations for this season because we got way more character development throughout a season than we usually get on a Power show. For a large collection of characters. The whole time his family went through an evolution. The whole time his family went through an evolution, and they each had to individually deal with so much shit.
Yeah.
Kanan running his own business, losing all his mans, losing his money, conflicted, thinking that his mom's killed his best friend and his girlfriend, getting a new house, doing all these things. Juke started the season in the army.
Facts.
She started the season in basic training. Ended up finding more about herself, connecting with that side of her sexuality, watching domestic violence and having to get retribution, killing somebody for the first time, and now slowly making that transformation into the older Jukebox. Marvin, both going through the struggles of trying to protect the people he loves and just being reckless and having to clean up mess after mess after mess. Lou started the season in rehab. And Loki ended up more fucked up by the end, but in a different way. He accepted
who he was.
The mental state that he was in and he embraced it and finally took accountability, right? Even Rock with everything that she was going on, she was just under siege the whole season.
Yeah.
But you could tell that she was trying at least, one step forward, two step back, but trying to be a better mom. Unique went from feeble to furious.
Jesus.
There are so many individual character development points and the growth throughout the season that we focused on that. And I think because Sasha Penn said, I always wanted to write a 5-season arc for Raising Kanan. And he knew that he was going to get a season 5. And said, this is going to be our final season. He knew, well, I don't have to empty the clip now. I can develop these characters so that whatever happens to them is both earned and felt by the audience. Those are the two things. Because for all of the speculation that we had about what was going to go on, what was going to go on with the episode, who was going to live, who was going to die, that was one of the things we spoke about, Chrissy. We said, maybe there's one major death, but if they empty the clip, what the hell is going to go on in season 5? You might as well at that point make season 5 Origins.
That's true.
And just roll into that, kind of like how we rolled into Ghost from OG Power. But knowing that it was going to be Raising Kanan, if we're going to lose these characters, it makes sense to lose them in the final season. Because now we're looking at season 5 almost as a goodbye to the series, but a goodbye to these characters. But we also don't know if it's the final goodbye or they're just going to be somewhere else floating in the world. Because there's still so much they can do with this series going forward with that history. We don't know how it's going to end up. So looking at it through that lens, looking through the season, I really enjoyed this season. I think this is the Wire season 2 season for Raising Kanan, where there was a lot of people who might have had backlash because of how the season 2 of the Wire developed. But Wire heads will tell you cannot get to where you got in that series if you do not have season 2. Like, it is essential, and it was actually solid. So I think it was
on your analogy bag today, huh?
I mean,
you give an analogy. I like it. Keep going.
I'm trying. I'm trying out here, giving it to the people. You know what I'm saying? This is what you get when you listen to Power After Hours, your favorite Power podcast. That's what I think. I enjoyed the season. I think if the season would have happened last year, more people would have embraced it.
Agreed on that.
I think the delay fucked it up a bit, but I think more people would have embraced it. But overall, yeah. I thought the season was dope. I had, especially the second half. Once Unique revealed himself, business picked up.
It was ready
and
to
we
go,
was
man.
All gas, no brakes.
Because you also don't know. We didn't know. Every episode was like, oh, what could happen? We don't know. It could go this way. It could go that way. And I just feel like they're setting us up for just such a good finish to this show. That's what I feel like they're doing. And I agree with you. To kill Rock at this point, would it make the most sense? Because what are we going to do? At that point, it's going to be them trying to go after Kanan for killing her, or whoever kills her. And at that point, it's not a raising Kanan anymore to me, because we know Kanan lives. So I am excited to see what they are going to do in season 5, how they're going to wrap up some of these characters, or if some of those characters will fall into young Tommy, young Ghost, that origin stories. You know what I mean? I don't know. They could continue on in that universe. So I'm excited. I feel like this season was good. I feel like the finale was good. What would you give it out of 10, Jeff?
The finale of the season?
The finale, because I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say like a strong 8.5 out of 10. I get what they were doing with the cliffhanger, but it's a little bit of a cop-out.
Oh, the scene going black.
It's a little bit of a cop-out. Like, I was just like, damn. And maybe that's good on them that I feel frustrated by the cliffhanger, because if a cliffhanger don't hang you off the cliff, then it's just a ledge.
Okay.
Right? The difference between the ledge and the cliffhanger, you're actually hanging off with the thrill. You're feeling something when you the possibility of you falling off. Whereas a ledge, you just chilling because you know you have more control. So maybe they done their part with that. And you know what? Part of my rating, and I'll be transparent, is I expected one thing and I got another. So I'm 100% team. Don't judge based off of what you would do. Judge based off of what they did.
And you said that last episode.
Yeah, I hate when people do that.
We can't be mad.
Well, I would have chose this, and I would have did it like that. Well, this is what they did. It doesn't make it right or wrong. It could stink, but it doesn't stink because it wasn't your idea. So evaluate it what it is. And even with me saying that, there was a lot more development in a season finale than I would expect. Like, when we get to the season finale, it should be the culmination of the journey the characters have gone. It felt like it felt like a connected episode to episode 5, more so than a hardcore series finale. Because I can think of every series finale that we've watched in the Power universe, and there's been some definitiveness to it.
I feel like is season 5 is going to be part 2. Does that make sense?
Right. Because even with the Ghost, remember when they split Ghost into 2 halves?
Yeah.
The end of the first half with, I think it was it Noma and Michael Ealy's character that had linked up, and they figured out what the hell Tariq and them were doing, and then they got connected. But we knew that it was part 1 of 2.
Yeah.
So that was a good transition point.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I'd say that's why I would say 8.5, because I felt like there was a lot more development. Knowing that it's a continuous story, I get it, but I thought it was really good. Really good, and I'd probably give this season a 9. I agree with you. I'd probably give this season a 9.
I agree
because I appreciate the writing. I appreciate the character development, especially for an origin story. Mm-hmm. I care more about these characters probably than at any point in the series.
Oh, I can agree with you on that. There's just still so much, like the way, like, even though, like you said, this was a season finale, there are still so many questions. Like, we forget Lou kidnapped Pernessa and that baby. So, Unique don't know that yet. Like, he has no idea. So a lot of things took place that we're sizing up to find out how it ends up in season 5. So again, we don't have cell phones for somebody to be like, hey, Unique, I just saw your baby moms and your baby get kidnapped in the garage. Like, he may not even find out until episode 3 that they're missing, because in his mind, he thought they were safe because they were in some high rise, not knowing that anybody can follow you from anywhere. Like, it don't matter where you live at. So yeah, that I can understand why you're saying that. It does feel like season 5 will be the part 2, but I'm excited for it. Bring it on.
For sure. Yeah, and I see Devin in the chat said he got season 3 over season 4. Season 3 was fucking fire, bro. That might be, when we look back, that might be the season, like everybody's favorite season. I definitely enjoyed that too.
Yeah, so, you're right.
All right, let's go to the super chats. Let's see what the people have to say. Sage, thank you so much once again. He has the laughing emojis and says, after she popped Howard, all I heard was my meat, bigger ninja. Marvin is the spiritual leader of the family because he was in his God-given right to smack the black off Rock for talking crazy. Couldn't have been me.
She talks to all of them crazy though. She got
Yeah.
loose lips, man. She just be running her damn mouth, thinking nobody's gonna do nothing to her.
So he was definitely wilding out. Like he knew. He was just like, yo, I'm out of here. Rock is rocking right now. Let me get the hell out of here. So I definitely get that. Thank you so much, Sage. Yeah, she when Lou said she's more of a man than all of us for the way she carry herself, I definitely seen that throughout the series. So she had to assert herself in a certain way. So I respect it. Thank you so much, man. DeMarcus, thank you so much for the super chat. Breeze was dressed like Montel Jordan in the This Is How We Do It video. Breeze will teach Kanan how to play chess. I believe it. First of all, definitely, like I said, I thought he was gonna give us the idea for Rentum spoons.
Not Rentum spoons. Oh, that was one of my favorite episodes. That was one of my favorite episodes. But Breeze definitely has the outfit down. Yeah, like it's looking good. I
gotta get the groove on.
Gotta get your groove on. I can see the dance too. Yeah, that show is just timeless.
Yes, for sure. I do believe Kanan's gonna learn some game from Breeze as well. Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that relationship develops and what he gets out of it, especially if there's some conflict with Snaps and Pop. That's one of the most intriguing aspects of season 5 for me, how that all gets sorted out. Thank you, DeMarcus.
If Ghost, Ghost did kill Breeze. How does that affect Snacks and Pops? Like, there's got to be.
I'm saying if Kanan finds out what they've been doing.
Oh yeah, that part too.
To get them off the board. So how does that affect? Like, do they know? Blah blah blah. Like,
they killed his people. Yeah.
All right, Devin. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you. This episode reminded me of the episode of 610 of OG Power, except flipped, where it was the best day for Ghost before he died. This seemed like everything was falling apart for Rock before her end.
That's true.
Yeah. It was a total collapse. I still don't think she's dead, but I definitely, Devin, you make a great comparison there.
Agreed. And like I said earlier, when we talked about it in the last episode, I feel like they've set her up this season for her to die. Like they I feel like the pieces were falling into place. So we'll see. But I am with you, Jeff. I do not think she's dead.
For sure. Thank you so much, Devin. All right. Noir Angel, thank you so much for the super chat. I think it's the first time I've seen you on the super chat. So appreciate you and thank you for tapping in. Only time Rock spoke in love was when Kanan had the pow order.
No,
that is the most lovingness I ever heard Rock. I was like, oh, you a mom today, huh?
Oh, now you care? Oh, okay. Like I think she was genuinely scared. I think that's actually for me the first time I've seen Rock look scared. Yeah. Like I genuinely think she at that moment thought or thinks Kanan is going to kill her. She closed her eyes like, this is it for me. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, she was shook. She was shook, and she was like, "Damn, let me be a mother now because this motherfucker trying to shoot me
before I die. Let me
let me talk to this boy before you shoot me. I'll call you back." DeMarcus with another one. Thank you so much. Lulu telling Kanan that Rock took out Joyce Thomas, bothered Kanan, and convinced Kanan to smoke Rock. I could see that, but the way that he framed it, I feel like Kanan was also like, "Yo, you took out Grandma, but damn." She wanted anyone to take her out, but you didn't. Like, I feel like he was more conflicted because it went against his calculus as to why Rock would be able to take out his friends, because this was asked, this was requested. She didn't just kill her moms because she didn't like her. It was requested.
And he went to her grave after that, right? After Lou had that conversation is when he finally went and saw Grandma at the grave and told her he was sorry, that it took him so long to come out there. But at the end of the day, I feel like I agree with you. He phrased it in a way where Rock did what she had to do. Like the mom tried to ask the brothers to do it. They couldn't. And Rock did what they couldn't do. Like I feel like Rock gave her the ending that was peaceful and less painful, because anybody who knows and has seen someone go through cancer to the end, it is a painful, grueling thing for a person to go through. And I feel like Rock did the humane thing by just obeying her mom's wishes. I actually commend her for that.
For sure. Thank you so much, DeMarcus. Appreciate you as always. Sage got a couple more. Actually, DeMarcus, thank you again. I'll run with your other one. Thank you again. Daniel Ezra is casted as Darnell Washington D-Wiz older brother in season 5 of Raising Kanan. Oh, we did hear about that because he was in jail, right?
That is correct. Didn't he pop up already before? Hasn't he popped up already before?
Not that I remember. Chat, y'all let me know, but I don't know. Somebody put Jaleel with the eyes.
Not the asterisks. Or was it just that they mentioned him?
Well, I'll get back to you in a second, Jaleel. I'll get back to you in a second because I see the streets is talking and Jaleel is talking. I'll get back to you in a second, Jaleel. But that's very interessante.
Now D-Wiz, at some point they've been bringing him up a lot this season, so it wouldn't surprise me that they're going to find a way to complete that story in some way for the brother to get retribution for D-Wiz's death in some way.
I like that. Okay. So I'm just looking to see real quick if I see any other.
There was one more, I think, from Jaleel, but I think that was more of like a thank y'all.
So it's funny because so it's like Miller and Penn spoke with the Hollywood Reporter about the shocking season 4 ending and what it means for season 5. They really trying to push like Rock is gone, whatever, man.
Which makes me believe that she's not.
She's definitely not. She's definitely not.
She's gonna be right there. She's gonna open her eyes, and the opening is gonna be how the ending had her closing her eyes. The opening gonna be her opening her eyes, and it's gonna be Kanan having shot somebody else, or Unique popping up in her crib, something crazy. But that bullet did not hit her. I don't believe, or it didn't kill her. One or the other.
Listen, whatever, man. I believe when I see it. Sage got a couple more. Thank you so much, Sage. A little off topic, but Jeff, does Rock remind you a little bit of the Roman Reigns tribal chief character, or is it just me? Sage, she was the tribal chief in season 3. For sure, she was the tribal chief. So I think this season is a little less manipulation because Roman Reigns, he gaslights his family into doing his bidding. But when he's the biggest problem, but he makes it seem like he's doing stuff for the family so everybody falls in line. That was her in season 3. Season 4 is more so Roman Reigns post losing the title. Because now he don't got the same aura. Now he got to try to reconcile with his family members in order to get revenge and build back up the bloodline. That's what I would say. That's a great comparison. This season is more so post WrestleMania 40 Roman.
Oh, it's wrestling.
And yes, it's very much wrestling.
I had no idea what you were talking about.
Season 3 was WrestleMania 39 Roman, like peak bloodline. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And
who the hell is Roman Reigns and what is we talking about?
Yeah, get up on your wrestling, girl.
I don't watch
they are using us the same way our Moorish ancestors used them in Europe for hundreds of years, trading places. Best season of book 3 to date. He's talking about the
Italians,
mob and the proxy.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I'm about tired of their ass too. I'm telling you, if nothing else happens, we got to take them out. I am united with my people. Umoja, Jumbo.
Jumbo.
I need Lulu to
rest
roll
of the
up.
ancestors Kenyatta.
I do love that. I mean, yeah, we got Jumbo, but I do love that we got Birilla in this episode, even if it was for just a
Birilla. I hope he gets a good role in season 5. Birilla was that dude.
I do too.
All right. And finally, Mr. Jaleel.
Oh.
$10 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for the community y'all have built. Best power podcast by far, and it's not close. See y'all whenever Force drops. I love how you say whatever because we don't
know. We don't know. And if anybody knows, it's Jaleel. Okay. So for Jaleel to even not know, that's all I need to know. If that makes sense. Okay. We don't know. And not this emoji. He fed up.
But yeah, Jaleel, thank you so much. And yo, we appreciate everybody who tunes in. Anybody who's, whether you set the regular comment, whether you set the super chat, you've adjusted with us through different time changes and seasons. And we've been doing this for 10 years. And there's a lot of y'all that's been listening for this entire time. So we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Like we do it because we love it. We're not trying to get clout or get bread off of this or be big names or whatever. We just love the show, love talking about it. And it's really dope to find a community of people who feel the same way. Like y'all support us. Y'all help keep this show going. Y'all tell y'all friends about it. Y'all do all the call to action shit I ask. I appreciate that. I let crazy speak for herself, but I could tell you, I really appreciate it. It's cool. This is the type of podcast that I would do if nobody was listening, just because I would want to do it. So it is cool that we get all of y'all who listen and tap in and comment on YouTube. And I remember when we used to do the emails and y'all was sending us emails and doing all that. Y'all been heavily engaged. So our community ain't nothing without the listeners. So y'all give yourselves a round of applause too, because y'all are really dope.
Yeah, y'all are the best, man. It literally is something Jeff and I do because one, even though y'all may not believe, we actually like each other. You know, Jeff and I, over the years, we actually like each other. It's been a solid 10 years we've been down, okay? And we really like this podcast. Like, I think it's fun to talk about a show that we watch and we enjoy. And engaging with you guys makes it 10 times better. So yeah, I love every week doing this with you guys. I'm gonna be sad because I don't know when we coming back at this point.
Right, because with stars, when they look at the calendar and they see fall, we talking the whole 90 days, boy. Yeah. It is inbounds the whole 90 days. You know what? Thank you, Jaleel. Let's try to extrapolate this.
Oh God, no.
BMF is returning for its 4th season on June 6th. Right? 2 weeks from now. Mm-hmm. BMF chat, you let me know. BMF is usually 10 episodes, right? Everything is 10 episodes of Star. I believe BMF is 10 episodes, right? So I'm going to go off of that assumption.
If they don't take a break, though, because, we got holidays, July 4th.
I'm making the break. Don't worry. So at chat, y'all tell me, okay, 10 episodes. Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first 4 episodes will be through June. So if it's starting June 6th and Power is over, what's today? May 20th. So Power was over on Friday. They're going to start technically 3 weeks after. That's good to know. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say July 4th is the break. Mm-hmm. July 4th, they take the week off. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So by August 15th, let's say 15th, 22nd, BMF is done.
Okay.
I'll even say the 22nd just for safety. 29, we get the start of the NFL. Then the 12th. Fall doesn't start until September 21st.
They gonna push that shit all the way.
At least a month after the show is over, we won't have Force because they said fall.
They gonna give us Force. Watch them pull some bullshit. They're gonna do an episode the week before Thanksgiving. And then they go.
I'm going to say 6, 7, 8, 9. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm going to say first or second week in October.
Oh my God. That is such a long way. Like, there was a time when we had a Power show running all year long. There was a time. And it was a time. Okay? It was good. Like, I just feel like the break was so drastic for Kanan that now any break is just too much for me. So I'm just annoyed off rip knowing that we got like
I definitely feel you. So yeah, I could see them and as the chat is saying, they got to air P-Valley, the new season of P-Valley after Force. So I could see them Boy, I forgot P-Valley was a thing. That's how long it's
been on a break too.
So I'm gonna guess first or second week in April. I mean April. Shit, this way. October. So we'll see. But we'll be around. We'll definitely be around. I saw a comment. Hold on. Super chat.
You did react to Jalil's comment about episodes. Was that the one you reacted to?
Oh yeah. They said that he saw rumblings that it might season 5 might be 8 episodes. Whatever, man. At this point, just let us know.
But let me tell you something. If it is 8 episodes, those better be fucking amazing 8 episodes. I would rather there be less and better than long and drawn out. Because after what they did with Ghost, OG Power, and how long that last season went, we could have wrapped them episodes up way before. So I would rather them finish it properly with less than extending it for more and pissing me off.
Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to do that again. That's still one of these days I got to ask somebody like, why the hell did they do it like that?
Kaz getting an episode was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But yeah, I'm going to say first, second week in October. I saw a comment. Let me see if I can find it. T Glass, what's up, T Glass? She asked, any update if we're getting the OG Power rewatch? Well, I gave the family some homework. And as you know, people are want to do. Homework didn't get done. I said, yo, and this is because I want to bring new folks into the fold. If we're doing this, you going back, want to run it. Yeah, Chrissy covering her eyes because she knows she was adamant that y'all was going to make this happen. I'm just saying.
It's really Jalil's fault though, but continue.
No, we're not doing that. Jalil, I got bail for you. Brother. You sent the super chat. I can't cook you. I can't, not like normal. You literally paid for your bail. So Jalil
was supposed to send me a DM. Those were the last words on that video, and you can go back and watch it. I asked Jalil, hit me with a DM so we can discuss how. I don't know how to contact Jalil outside of this podcast. I don't follow Jalil. At least I don't think I do. So Jalil, it's on you.
Wait, I thought I said middle of June for what? What I say middle of June for? Oh, you talking about the. So here's the thing. I said if we get to 2K subscribers, I think that's what I said. We're at 1950 right now. If y'all can bring me 50 new folks and not sign up with no damn dummy stock accounts, because I have the means to figure out if y'all are capping and y'all are botting me. Don't do that. Because this is all, I shut the whole shit down. All right. So I said, if we get to 2K, I would consider watching the first season of Power again.
I think that's what discouraged people. You said you would consider. If you're going to do it.
Y'all know I was bullshitting.
If you're going to do it.
Look, we get to 2K. I'm going to tell you, what is it? The 20th? We get to 2K by the end of June. Actually, no, I won't pull the stars. If we can get there before the start of summer, why not?
Jalil, I'm going to need you to hit me on the DMs, bro. Like,
Devin, listen, if that happens, I might not be conscious. I might not be coherent to it. If these guys go all the way, my Jude might be cooked.
No, it's going to be cooked. I feel like we can definitely do that. Like, Jalil, please, like, let's just do the. Actually, anybody here that wants to join forces with me, okay, and help us to get those 50 subscribers, let's do the damn thing so that we can do.
Well, I can help.
Power.
I'm gonna tell you, I got the perfect way. Like this video, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, share. The blueprint been there. Y'all be on all of these Power social accounts. Y'all tapped in. Y'all are tapped in. My audio gang. I know y'all would love. We never did. For those of you that have been here since day one, remember, we started with season 2. We never did season 1. Replay gang. All I'm asking for is for y'all to bring a friend. Everybody who listens, bring one new friend to the YouTube channel. I don't think that's asking a lot.
What number were we at when we first asked? Because Jaleel said the subscribers did go up low key. And I want to say they have kind of gone up a little bit. I want to say that we did go up some.
Y'all act like I don't got the lytics.
Not
you know
the
lytics. Okay. Within the last 28 days, we've gotten 38 new people.
Okay. Awesome. Now, that's actually not bad, bro. Like
last 7 days, we got 13. Last 28. Okay.
No. Okay. Let us cook. We can do this.
Last 90 days plus 61. Y'all getting the real deal. There's no cap. I'm reading it straight off from this. So, okay. It's not like y'all haven't done it. It's not like y'all haven't done it. I'm just saying there is a stretch goal. It's not even a stretch goal. It's the OG goal.
We can do this. I know you guys want to rewatch.
Trump will reside. Let's go. Y'all are crazy.
I know you guys want to rewatch with me. I know you do. Because I know I do.
Well, and I'll be real. I don't know how we would do it in what format. I do kind of want to do it live because I want everybody to chime in or whatnot. But I'd be down. I'd definitely be down for it. And I'm not even gonna try to suggest we like do a Patreon or some shit and make y'all pay for it. Wouldn't even want to do that to y'all. There would be something special to fill the gap. And besides, y'all know Force ain't coming back until December. So we got a whole lot of time. So yeah, I'd at least just for me, like, let's see what we could get for the end of the month. We'll definitely keep you posted on the OG Weebats. Because all jokes aside, I do want to do it. I know Chrissy wants to do it.
We've converted him, guys.
I just want y'all to bring somebody new that listens to the pod, whether you on audio, we check those numbers too. Everything counts, but the YouTube is what we're trying to build so that we could do more for y'all and get more opportunities.
Yeah. There's a way to do it. Because I will say, my son is a YouTuber to the end of the earth, and he watches quite a few YouTubers who do live rewatches of a different YouTuber by the name of Darman. And they literally watch his episodes on live, and people. So I know it's possible for us to do it here on the tube. So it's just us figuring it out, you and I behind the scenes. But yes, I feel like we can do this, you guys. 50 subscribers, that's nothing. We can do it.
Let's get it. So this has been an awesome episode. We talking about everything. I'm glad we was able. Anything we forgot? Anything? Season 5 coming in 2026. Your guess is as good as mine. Okay.
It better not be.
Your guess is as good as mine, guys.
It better be the beginning of 2026.
You know what? I hope it's like after the Super Bowl.
Well, it's probably going to be after P Valley.
Just run through February, March, April, man.
I can tell you that's not going to happen, because if P Valley is after Force is starting in the fall. P Valley is the same 10 episodes. So that it would put us back at the same time we're at right now. It's going to put us right back here. Yeah.
So hold on. At this point, I don't even know. Hold on.
It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. It's going to be a year from whenever it started this year, is my guess.
So March 7th is when this season started.
That sounds
so maybe it'll
right.
be March 2026.
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, walk with God.
Since they can only do one show at a goddamn time, one black show at a time, stars.
Listen, man.
Stefano running the scenes. Huh?
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. So, Chrissy, where can the people find you?
Hey, you guys can find me everywhere, every channel at Chrissy B. Davis. We do all things beauty, skincare included. What about you, Jeff?
Jeff J Says all social media. Jeff J Says on YouTube. I'm covering and following both the Knicks and the NBA playoffs. We got about a month left of the season. Season just goes by. Thank y'all for also bearing with me as I've had to do all my Knicks stuff in between and during and all of that stuff. So, hopefully they will pay this off. And the next time y'all see me, I'm going to be insufferable. You think Kanan's insufferable? You think Tariq is insufferable? I'll actually be sufferable because I'll just be happy. I'll just be so jubilant.
When's the last time y'all won a championship?
You want to know? I think Richard Nixon was in office. Okay. Yeah, it's 73. It's been 52.
Wow. Okay.
This has been the first time in 25 years the Knicks have made the conference finals.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Since 2000. So it's been a journey. They've built up. They've built a fantastic team. I feel like a lot of people can get behind, and it's just been incredible. It's been incredible hoops for those who actually enjoy hoops and don't watch basketball with spreadsheets, or just to hate watch. So it's been an incredible playoff so far. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for locking in. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for all the kind words and just checking up on us. And
yes,
honestly, when I give all the call to actions, I just say it because I know that life is busy and people don't know what's going on until they are made aware. So I feel like when people find out about our show, we've seen it. I've seen people pop in the chat and say, "Hey, I just saw this episode. I didn't know y'all were tapping in." I think the more real people we get listening to us and actual enjoyers of power, I think the more fun and the more dope the conversation could be. So this is the community we've built, and y'all reactions, y'all comments, and the way y'all support us means that we're doing something right. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got mad love for y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you, man. Thank you. I hope we can see you sooner rather than later. Definitely stay locked into all of our socials and the YouTube channel. We'll let you know what happens with the OG Power rewatch.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's about it. That is Chrissy. I'm Jeff. You are amazing. This has been the season 4, episode 10 recap and review. Give me the weight. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Season 4 is over. We got one more season, the final season coming up in 2026. Force is on deck. Can't wait. We'll be in touch, y'all. If don't speak to you, have a good rest of the week, rest of the month, good summers, all of that. We will be in touch. We will talk to you soon.
Peace.
Later, y'all.
I want you to sing it with me. They say this is a good time. Yeah. I just come from the lowest part. Right nice city, I gotta make it. This is where it goes.